Hey, I decided I'd do this video just because I've been thinking about it, and Dumbledore, the second version of Dumbledore, Michael Gambon's Dumbledore, ponytail beard Dumbledore, uh, is fairly easy for me to do, and I thought I'd teach people how to do it. So basically, the technique is really all about what you do with your face, and I'm going to explain that in just a bit. Um, not a facial expression. There's something that you do, but I'll explain it in a bit. Firstly, you got to get you have to have a good English accent. Maybe not totally good. You can be terrible at it, but I mean, basically to the point where it's more of a proper type of English. Um, but Michael Gambon isn't totally, because Michael Gambon himself is Irish, and he doesn't really do an English accent in the Harry Potter films. He doesn't do that. Um, he tends to sort of his Irish kind of interrupts his English, and so he tends to go back and forth in that. So if you can do somewhat of an Irish thing with your accents, if you can do that, great, because then you would need to combine it a little bit with your English, because he doesn't totally sound like this all the time with his English. He does, sometimes he says things like in an Irish accent like this, and then he goes back into English when he talks like this. So it's sort of like, it's weird, he does that. I think it makes for an interesting sounding thing that he does, but that's the way it is. You could do that, and then you also have to have a depthness to your voice, right? Go down like that. Go as like if you're a gal, then go as deep as you can, I guess. And then there's another pivotal aspect, is the bubble in your throat. I've explained this in a few other videos that I've got up, the how to sound like Gollum and how to sound like Bane. Particularly the one about Bane, I go more in depth about how to do that thing with your throat. But what I'm talking about is basically like, like when you try to do something where, like if you're sounding like Elmo, like if you go, that thing with that thing that happens when you do that impression, if you ever think about doing that. It's basically that, only it's very, very subtilized, if that's a word. It's very subtle. So you do that, low voice, English/Irish accent, or just English if that's all you know. And then you tend to sound like you're going into Michael Gambon when you're talking Harry, and you tend to sound like him more when you do this. But that's not all you do. Now this is where I go into, this is what you do with your face, because what I just did doesn't sound like him really. It's like a little, it's touching on it, but not really. But the way you just really sink in that Gambon-y type of thing is, all you have to do is just do exactly that, only hold your nose. And then the resonance will just speak volumes with the way that it happens. So notice I'm sounding like this. Oh, well, okay, before I get to it, one last thing. He doesn't say his S's correctly. He always slurs his S's more like this when he is talking to you. He slurs all his S's, none of his S's are on point. And maybe even some of his T's are a little bit kind of like just set aside. But yes, when you're trying to sound like Dumbledore, you tend to go very low, and Irish, English, whatever, and then slurring your S's, all the S's are slurred. And then you hold your nose.
And now I sound a lot more like Michael Gambon. Harry, if I tell you to run, you run. If I tell you to hide, you hide. If I tell you to abandon me and save yourself, you must do so. You're white, Harry.
Now, see, that sounds a lot more like him now. Maybe there's some naysayers out there that don't think it sounds like that, but I personally think it sounds a lot like him. But basically, that's really all you have to do. It's not really that hard. If you have any trouble, just go back through these steps, and if you're still having trouble, comment, because I don't really get a lot of views anyway, so I'll probably respond. Good luck with your impressions, and good luck with this one. Thanks for watching.